with coverage you can count on. This is News 2 Today.
When I close my eyes, I just see my kids in the window yelling for their dad.
A fire claimed the lives of his entire family, and now we're hearing from the sole survivor in a News 2 exclusive. Plus, one man from Greenville is behind bars accused of human trafficking, and authorities say his victims were immigrants. Rise and shine, everyone. It is Saturday, March 4th. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Annie Taylor.
And I'm Christine Kohler.
The sun is out, but if
is.
you have not gotten out of your bed, but you watched the news yesterday, then you know it's cold, but
yeah.
It's really cold.
It's a little chilly. You may want to stay snuggled under those covers.
What are we, 43?
It is, well, we just jumped here at 9 o'clock and we're up to 47, 48 right here in Mount Pleasant. But yeah, it's still in the 30s in some spots. And we're going to do this all again tomorrow morning as well. So it's going to be pretty chilly next 24 hours or so.
Keep those gloves, keep those jackets out.
Yeah, it feels a lot more like early January out there than it does early March with these temperatures. Like I said, it's still at 38 in King Street, but at least we're above the freezing mark now. We're at 46 currently on Polly's Island. It's 46 in Somerville, 47 out at the airport in North Charleston. It is 50 right now on Edisto Beach, so the warm spot on the map there. We are going to see those temperatures this afternoon warm up, but not much, only into the 50s this afternoon. We're at 47 right now, like I said, with plenty of sunshine, and you can see that sun there out over the Charleston Harbor in downtown Charleston. 54 degrees right now at noon, or I should say 54 degrees at noon. We'll be at 59 at 4 o'clock. I think most of us are going to end up getting stuck in the mid to upper 50s for our highs this afternoon. A couple of well-inland areas could briefly cross over into the low 60s. By 8 o'clock, though, we're back down to 46 degrees in those clear skies. Another clear night with those calm winds is what's going to help to drop those temperatures once again down into the 30s. We'll talk more about that and a little bit of a warm-up on the way for your Sunday coming up in just a few minutes. Annie?
All right, thanks, Chrissy. New this morning, President Donald Trump took to Twitter accusing former President Barack Obama of wiretapping the Trump Tower during the 2016 campaign. The first tweet that he tweeted out says the first meeting with Jeff Sessions is with Russian ambassador. It was set up by the Obama administration under education programs for 100 ambassadors. He then goes on to say, terrible. Just found out that Obama had my wires tapped in Trump Tower just before victory. Nothing found. This McCarthyism. Former Obama administration officials have not commented on these tweets. The Twitter rant comes after President Trump went to Florida Friday to talk school choice, but Russia is stealing the spotlight from all of this. He is defending his Attorney General Jeff Sessions, but now there are new revelations and questions about other Trump team dealings with a country accused to trying to fix the election. Tracy Potts reports.
Hello, team. Good morning.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions saying little today about removing himself from Trump campaign investigations and failing to mention under oath that he met Russia's ambassador.
Attorney General Sessions should resign.
That's Democrat Chuck Schumer. President Trump calls him a total hypocrite, tweeting this 2003 photo of Schumer with Russia's president. Schumer responds, that happened in public, unlike the Trump Tower meeting between former National Security Advisor Mike Flynn, son-in-law Jared Kushner, and Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak, who entered through the back door. At least 5 Trump associates have met with the ambassador during the campaign and transition.
It's in the interest of the president and the people around him to get this all out. It's the drip that's really going to be damaging.
Sessions told Fox he and Kislyak never talked politics.
I don't recall any discussion of the campaign in any significant way.
But some on Capitol Hill want Sessions to come back and explain.
The only way he can really restore full trust and credibility is to answer our questions under oath.
The president calls it a total witch hunt designed to suggest his team colluded with Russia to rig the election.
I think that's irresponsible. There's no proof of that. It didn't happen.
Don't run for politics after you do that.
Congress has found no proof so far. They're still investigating.
Now, it's still unknown whether Sessions will come back to testify, but he has said that he didn't mention the meetings because he thought lawmakers were asking about campaign contacts, not meetings he held as a senator. Turning now to the Trump travel ban, a federal judge gave the administration a 2-week extension in the case. That extension is to give the administration time to respond to a motion that would make the lawsuit a class action case. In the order, Judge James Robart also noted that the plaintiff's frustration for contradictory messages from the administration and its lawyers. The confusion is over whether a new executive order on the way will supersede the one he is fighting. But Robart is the same Seattle judge that blocked the travel ban last month. And immigration officials may start separating children from adults when they're caught crossing the U.S. border illegally. Their proposal is being considered at the Department of Homeland Security. Currently, people who are arrested with children on the border are generally allowed to stay in the country until their court hearing. But the official says that the rule allows children to be exploited for immigration purposes, both by their parents and others. Under the new proposal, the adults would be detained, while children would be sent to protective services or their relatives in the U.S. No final decision has been made. It's an interview you'll only see on News 2. We sat down with the sole survivor of a fire that killed 3 people in St. Stephen. It happened just before 3 in the morning Thursday on Shady Trail Lane. A mother, daughter, and son died in their home of smoke inhalation from that fire. The husband and father, Anthony King, says he did what he could to try to save his family from the flames. News 2's Sophia Arizosa shares his story.
When I close my eyes, I just see my kids in the window yelling for their dad.
This man, Anthony King, lost everything when his house was destroyed by flames.
I tried several times to go back in, but the flames were too much.
Killing his wife and 2 children.
It was a nightmare.
King told us about his wife, Chrissy.
And then my wife, who was a wonderful mother, a wonderful woman.
Who he says he loved with everything in him.
We're going to miss her laughter. And that's all. She made people laugh because of her laugh and her giving heart. She would give you everything she owned to make you happy.
The son they adopted.
Wonderful young man. He had 1 more year of college left. He went to Benedict, and he was going to go to Charleston Southern and finish that up. And he had aspirations of on his own lawn care service.
And his little girl.
Went to a father-daughter dance last Friday at our church, and it was really good because that's the last memory that I have, really.
It wasn't until the coroner called that what happened sunk in.
They told me that they had just finished the autopsy on my son and daughter, and what funeral home we're using. And at that point, that's when it hit me. That this was real, that it's not a nightmare, I can't change it.
He says the trauma continued once medics took him to MUSC. He tells us the staff didn't give him the care he needed in that moment.
The chaplain came in a couple of times. He came in and checked periodically. Right. He checked more than the nurses and stuff checked. Yeah. And he went and got me water. He went and did things more than they did. And they never explained anything to me directly.
Alone just hours after losing his family, he says he felt forgotten.
It was very lonely because nobody came in and said anything to me. They just wrote me in there and just left me.
We asked MUSC to comment on what happened, and they tell us legally they can't discuss anything about the patient's treatment without consent from that patient. So she could not speak to us about this case, but she did say, quote, "Take it very seriously when someone feels they haven't had a good experience. We urge them to let us know by reaching out in the moment or afterwards in a patient-family liaison," end quote. Well, you're looking at video from a reported structure collapse last night. According to Charleston County Dispatch, city fire and EMS crews responded to the incident on St. Philip and Wentworth Street. The call came in shortly after 11 o'clock. Now, we reached out to the city officials to confirm more details about what happened. They haven't gotten back to us just yet, but of course, once we find out more info, we will let you know on air and online at KalNews2.com. A North Charleston man leads police on a chase, barricades himself into an apartment, and then confesses it all to the police. 27-year-old Jared Weeks faces multiple charges. A police officer attempted to stop Weeks for an illegal window tint Friday. That's when Weeks refused to stop. He eventually got out of the car, dropped a gun, and broke into an apartment. Weeks eventually came out and was arrested. Police found cocaine and marijuana in Weeks' car along with other drugs he tried to flush down in the toilet of that apartment that he broke into. He faces charges including possession, intent to distribute, and burglary. A woman faces a judge Friday on a felony of animal cruelty charges. She was arrested after officials found a dead dog along with 8 others in poor health in her yard. This happened back in January, but 29-year-old Nikita gathers she was given a $20,000 bond and cannot have any animals under her care. Police are still searching for 31-year-old Juan Sergio Flowers. Charleston Animal Society took custody of the dogs.
We are the animals' voice. They have no voice. They have no way to fight for themselves. We want to send a message to our community. We're not going to tolerate people treating animals like this. It's just not going to be accepted. And if you do that, you will be arrested and you will go to jail.
One of the dogs was found in critical condition. He is recovering. 4 of the dogs have been adopted, but 2 had to be euthanized of aggressive behavior. A larger reward is now being offered after a dog was found emaciated with burns over much of its body. Now, we have the images, but we do want to let you know they are disturbing. This dog was rushed for emergency treatment but died from its injuries. The SPCA is offering a reward of $2,600 for information leading to arrests. Now, Crime Stoppers is also offering a reward of up to $1,000. So if you have any information, you're asked to call them at 843-554-1111. A South Carolina couple pledges to continue fighting to keep their adopted 3-year-old daughter after the State Court of Appeals ruled for her biological father. The court denied Tammy and Edward Dalsein's request for a rehearing. They began fostering Braylon when she was 3 weeks old and adopted her in 2015. The appeals court overturned the adoption in December, saying the parental rights of Braylon's biological father should not have been terminated while he was in prison. The court's latest ruling Wednesday says Andrew Myers did try to contact Braylon while he was serving time for fraud. Senator Lindsey Graham will be hosting a town hall this weekend in the Palmetto State. It's happening in the upstate, though, at Clemson University today. It starts at 10:30 in the morning and will be held at the Brooks Center for the Performing Arts. Senator Graham has plans to be there for about an hour and a half. There is no backyard burning this weekend, at least that's what the South Carolina Forestry Commission is recommending. It issued a red flag fire alert Friday at noon due to the dry conditions across the state. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't burn at all. It just means that the state officials, they don't recommend it with the elevated risk of wildfires and all.
News 2 Today is just getting started.
2 brothers' impressive skills with spinning pizza dough is going viral. In our next half hour, we meet the boys who have become internet sensations. They're adorable. And it's day 4 of Charleston's Wine and Food Fest. We take you inside one of the Holy City's new hotspot and taste their award-winning burger. That's right after the break.